Hi there, and welcome back to another episode of Prestige Liquids. My name is Andrew, and as always, it is fantastic to have you here with me again on another whiskey review video. If you're a returning subscriber, thank you for joining me along my journey so far, and if you're new to the channel, then please make sure you hit the bell notification and the subscription button right now so that you can stay up to date with all future content. Well now, on to the show. Alright then, here we go. Let's get started on day 2 of the Glengoyne tasting set. That's this little thing right here. The previous video I reviewed this one, the 10-year-old, but today we're going to be moving on with the Glengoyne 15. So that's this one here, so there you go. Unfortunately that label is being ripped a little bit, but oh well, what can we do? Glengoyne Distillery, it's a Scottish distillery, obviously located in the Highlands of Scotland. The Glengoyne 15 is an unpeated whiskey aged in bourbon casks and first fill sherry casks. Now this particular expression has been bottled at 43% ABV, and as far as I'm aware, natural colored and non-chill filtered as well. So I guess kind of all the things that we whiskey drinkers like to look out for: age statement whiskies and natural presentation. All right, so let's get on with the review. Actually, before I do get on with the review, one thing that I would like to point out, or sorry, two things that I would like to point out. One being that this is a Glengoyne tasting series. I do have a playlist set up. There is a link in the description box down below, so that way you can access the full Glengoyne playlist, plus other Glengoyne whiskies I review in the future will also be put into this list. Also, if you are interested at all, Glengoyne has some absolutely fantastic sustainability initiatives that they are running from their distillery. If you would like to learn more about these initiatives that they are running, again, there is a website link in the description box below. That way, just click that link and you'll be able to see all these fascinating things that Glengoyne are doing at their distillery. They really are doing some incredible things, so it's definitely worth looking into. But you're here for the review, and that's what we're going to do. So, as mentioned, Glengoyne 15-year-old. Let's get started. So, on the nose. The nose on this one is definitely much more sherry forward than what the 10-year-old is. Raisins, prunes. I'm getting also some plum skin. Again, that oak influence is definitely there. Vanilla, caramel. And again, that same, what is that? Yeah, definitely that same floral and sweet fruity notes that I have gotten from the 10-year-old are definitely following through on this as well. So lots of cereal grain influence, very malty. Again, that kind of like a herb garden note that's coming through. I'm getting things like oregano and rosemary, those types of herbs. Lemon rind is definitely there still. Again, the vanilla, so lots of vanilla, vanilla cream. Typical like Speyside orchard fruits coming through as well. So all your apples, pears, very citric. I really like that lemon peel influence. It really mingles in really well with that the vanilla cream and the caramel. There's like a certain like dusty, musty edge to it. So think of things like, again, like leather, tobacco, quite earthy, but again, a very fresh, beautiful nose on this whiskey. I am enjoying the fact that the sherry influence is more prominent on this. A little bit of pepper as well, but the pepper on this is not as prominent as what I was getting on the 10-year-old. The 10-year-old definitely had a much more like peppery, spicy nose. This one here is a bit more subdued and not as intense, but that oak influence is absolutely stunning. Alright, let's move on to the palate and see what we get. Cheers. Again, thicker mouthfeel, very syrupy, not as dry as the 10-year-old, but again, the sherry influence is there. You can tell that, I guess maybe, I don't know if it's maybe because of being the first fill sherry casks, or maybe just the particular casks that have been selected for this. The sherry influence is definitely much more influential on this whiskey than what it was on the 10. So again, it's kind of reminding me of the Finnish dessert. I've mentioned this quite a few times before, when it comes to using like fortifying wine casks. More so when it comes to Australian whiskies, especially with tawny or apera casks. But I am picking up a little bit of it on this as well. So again, this dessert is called kisseli, which is pretty much just like stewed fruits. For us here, I know whenever my uncle makes it, he's always using things like tinned peaches, apricots. There's sultanas that go into it as well. There's a certain spiciness to it as well. So imagine baking spices, cinnamon, cardamom, those types of flavors. Maybe also a little bit of nutmeg. The orchard fruit influence is definitely starting to come along now. I'm starting to get more like green Granny Smith apples coming in. That's that lemony citrus peel is coming through. Again, a little bit of tobacco, more chocolate notes as well. But from memory, on the 10-year-old, it was more of a milk chocolate note. This time, I'm starting to get more of a dark chocolate. There's more of that dark chocolate bitterness that's there. That could be coming in from the oak influence. It could be getting more of that wood impact coming through. Now, I know that this is also unpeated, but there is also a certain element of smokiness to it, most likely coming in again from the cask. Very grain heavy. You'll definitely notice the flavor of the malt. And all in all, again, just like with the 10-year-old, a perfect balance. I can definitely tell that, I mean, I'm 2 whiskeys into this 4 whiskey series set, and I can already tell that I am going to be enjoying the journey that's coming forward. These whiskies are absolutely stunning, and it's actually making me really want to be able to dive further into the world of Glengoyne. I really am enjoying the flavor of these whiskies. You can see that distillery characteristic coming through from the 10 into the 15. I'm curious to see how that is going to be making its way through into the 18-year-old, and then also plus the bonus whiskey that I have. I hope that that characteristic follows through, because I am really enjoying these notes that are coming in. Between the 10 and the 15, this is probably where I might give, I guess, not so much negativity, but picking between these two in terms of flavor. I mean, there is not really all that much difference going on. The main difference being that the sherry influence on the 15-year-old is more dominant on the palate and the nose than what it was in the 10. But those base elements of the whiskey are still pretty much the same. I think if you were comparing like apples to oranges, or if you're going for like dollar value type thing, I think you're probably better off just to stick with the 10-year-old. Like I said, there really is not much of a difference between the two. But if going up for those further age or those higher age statement whiskies are something that you are into, then definitely check this out. It is a very enjoyable whiskey, and I am sure very much worth whatever money that it is. Well, definitely worth the price, I should say, of what you would be getting. An absolutely stunning whiskey, very easy to drink. Again, the finish, it's more of a medium finish. Definitely lasts a lot longer than the 10-year-old. But again, much of the same flavor profiles that I've described from the palate and the nose follow through on the finish. The main difference, again, between this one and the 10-year-old is that I am also starting to get that smoky influence on the finish, which is something that I didn't get on the finish for the 10-year-old.
And again, the other aspect being that more of the dark chocolate influence coming through. Again, another stunning whiskey, perfect for beginners, and obviously another amazing whiskey for long-term whiskey drinkers. I think if you have not yet tried the Glengoyne 15, don't hesitate. Go out and get it. It is an absolutely fantastic whiskey. I think you definitely won't be disappointed. But yeah, I think all in all, that's pretty much all I have to say. I'm just really looking forward to being able to explore the other whiskies in the range, because so far these two have been absolutely amazing, and I'm sure that the 18-year-old coming up in the next video will be just as good. So fingers crossed. Here's to the 18-year-old. As I mentioned at the start of the video, my name is Andrew, and I'll see you all again on the next video. KIPPIS.
Oh, you're still here. Well, why not consider continuing on with some more content and subscribing? I'll see you next time. Bye bye.